As an alternative to unplanned rural sprawl, the Tennessee Valley Authority is working with Alabama's Elk River Development Agency in an innovative approach to community planning. The development is called Elkmont Rural Village and is located near Athens in northern Alabama. First phase construction of the village is well underway. One of the requirements for all homes to be built here is that they must comply with TVA's energy-saving Super Saver Homes specifications. The Super Saver concept includes extra thick insulation, the use of an electric heat pump, and other different construction techniques. The Community Recreation Center, now going up at the entrance of the new town, is equipped with solar panels. The 2,400 square foot building will include a solar water heater in addition to using a solar system for heating the building. According to plans, up to 1,000 homes are to be built in the village on the 1,700 acres of land. Tennis courts, as well as picnic areas and nature trails, are being provided for use by the residents. Permanent open space and careful planning are the two key factors that will make the village different. TVA says if these planning concepts prove practical, they can be used as guides for other housing developments in the TVA area and throughout the country. For TVA, this is Steve Cinnamon.
Looks like you need a hog.
A hog?
46 ounces of Coke in a plastic cup. You see, two 22-ounce McDonald's cups adds up to
only 44.
And at about 70 cents a piece, that's $1.40. The hog's only 99 cents.
That's more for less. The hog's smart.
And big.
Oh, don't say big.
You're the boss.
Now you're talking.
We're neighbors. We're Stop and Go.
WGN Television, Chicago at 8 o'clock.
It's time for the Groovy Ghoulies and Friends, starring the Groovy Ghoulies. With Lassie and the Rescue Rangers. Also, the New Adventures of Gilligan. And featuring your favorite Martians. Those crazy mutts from Mush. Brady Cat. Wacky and Packy. And the New Adventures of Waldo Kitty. Yes, it's time for the Groovy Ghoulies and Friends.
We'll return to the Groovy Ghoulies after the following announcements.
What did Benjamin Franklin say when he discovered electricity and lightning?
Nothing. He was too shocked. I needed that.
If only he knew. And For Better or For Best, two eye-opening books on marriage that in their first 4 weeks became national bestsellers, selling over 100,000 copies. And they're not even available in stores. If Only He Knew is a book for men that centers on making the husband aware of the real needs and desires of his wife and how to meet those needs in ways she would like. It talks about the 9 essential needs of every woman and even shows him how to discover his wife's unique emotional needs. It discusses the 6 devastating consequences of a poor marriage and the 2 major reasons why marriages fail. Other chapters include climbing out of marriage's deepest pit. Where have all the feelings gone? What women admire most about men, and 9 others. The second book, For Better or For Best, contains 16 informative chapters that show a wife how to love her husband in ways that are important to him, and how to motivate him to want to meet her deepest needs. Chapters like 8 ways husbands hurt their wives without even knowing it, hidden reasons why men act the way they do, becoming your husband's best friend, the 5 common needs of men and how to deepen and increase his affection for you. Both books are written by Gary Smalley, who during the past 15 years has counseled or spoken to over 15,000 couples. The publisher's suggested price is $9.95 each, but through this offer you can get both books in hardcover for only $12.95. If you don't find these books to be the most rewarding you've ever purchased, return them in 30 days for a full refund. Here's how to order.
Call toll-free 800-228-5100. That's 800-228-5100. When your marriage books arrive, pay just $12.95 plus COD postage. That's 800-228-5100. 800-228-5100. Operators are standing by. This is a free call. 800-228-5100.
And now we return to the Groovy Ghoulies.
rivaling the Mediterranean resorts.
The city is stunned by the sheer size and audacity of this takeover bid.
The hurricane is expected to move towards the west-northwest. Hurricane warnings are in effect for the northern coast of the Dominican Republic and for the coast of Turkey.
The dramatic events of 1989 proved how rapidly the world can change. And a large international organization like BAT needs to respond quickly. It was a year when some difficult decisions had to be taken.
All events during 1989 were completely overshadowed by the announcement of the proposal to close Liverpool factory. The decision was a recommendation made by the Europe team, who considered, among many other things, the conversion cost structure and the surplus capacity of BAT factories within the Europe community. It was seen as imperative that BAT remains one of the lowest cost producers in Europe as we move into the 1990s, when tax harmonization will allow the freer movement of goods, which in turn will lead to increased and fiercer competition.
Friday, a garbage man from Cleveland, Latin Spitfire Googie Gomez, and a gang of Midwest mafiosi are just a few of the characters you'll encounter in Richard Lester's hilarious Night at the Baths. Don't miss The Ritz, starring Rita Moreno and Jack Weston. The Ritz, it'll turn an ordinary scrub-up into an outrageous experience. Premiering Friday. David Essex stars in a backstage look at the meteoric rise and tragic downfall of an international rock idol, Stardust. Then, John Mills and David Burney uncover a series of bizarre murders done in 12th century style in Dirty Night's Work, Saturday. Sunday, Peter Finch and Faye Dunaway had a star-studded cast in Paddy Chayefsky's outrageous and tragic comic vision of the TV industry, Network, winner of 4 Oscars and premiering Sunday for the first time on television.
Agnew in Arkansas. That's the top of the news. This is Jack Lee in Little Rock for KAAY. Vice President Spiro Agnew arrived in Little Rock this afternoon. His Air Force plane landed at Little Rock Air Force Base. The Vice President went to the Sheraton Little Rock for lodging for the night. He was met outside the hotel by newsman Michael O'Sullivan.
You asked me why I came to Little Rock. Tomorrow I'm going to Cersei to address the Freedom Forum there.
We understand you have a meeting with Republican leaders this afternoon. Who will be at the meeting?
Well, I don't want to say because I'm not sure definitely, but there'll be the usual party people. I hope the state leaders, the national committee leaders, and representatives of the state party generally.
The press here in Little Rock was not informed of your arrival. In fact, we just got it by word of mouth. Why the shroud of secrecy around your arrival?
Well, there really isn't any shroud of secrecy. I could have come in by moving in a different direction and not come past you if I wanted to be secret. I think sometimes we mistake a simple lack of an announcement of a visit as an attempt at secrecy. After all, my appearance at the Freedom Forum has been heavily publicized.
The Vice President's party went to the 8th floor of the Sheraton. The 8th floor is the top floor, and the Vice President is occupying the entire floor. The suite is still in Rockefeller's name. Agnew has reportedly met with a small group of people in the hotel. The group reportedly includes some Arkansas Republican leaders. Traveling with Agnew were members of his staff and Congressman John Paul Hammersmith, a Republican from Arkansas. A Paragould man apparently shot and killed himself today while officers were trying to serve a warrant for burglary on him. Authorities said 50-year-old Roy Gray shot himself with a .30-30 rifle. Greene County Sheriff Johnny Nations told KAAY.
He wouldn't come out. So I got back on the radio and called in for some tear gas. But we didn't want to hurt him. Didn't have to. Ordered some tear gas, and Chief Lloyd Hill brought us a couple of those gas grenades. But we didn't have to use those. Before they got there, we heard a shot inside this garage. So we didn't know whether they just fired a warning shot for us not to come on in or what happened. So they brought us some gas grenades. This time Trooper Hill and Trooper Childers arrived. Oh, it's about 3:30 by that time. So Trooper Hill went to the left side of this car. There was a car inside this garage. And Deputy Sheriff Easton went to the right. And they went back in there, and Trooper Childers and myself went in behind them. And they found the body back there. He had shot himself.
No other injuries were reported.
Hail Caesar, Godfather of Harlem. Fred Williamson is Black Caesar. Music composed and performed by James Brown. Black Caesar. This Caesar comes to bury you.
See Black Caesar now at the Capitol, Razorback, or Twin City Drive-In Theater.
River City weather.
River City weather, partly cloudy through Friday. Warmer tonight. No important temperature changes Thursday through Friday. No rain in the forecast. Low tonight 45, high tomorrow 65. Little Rock's official high today was 65 degrees. For the Lynn Broadcasting Corporation, this is Jack Lee.
K-A-A-Y, Little Rock. I'm coming home, I've done my time.
Other worlds lie outside our seeing, beyond the beyond, at the edge of within. The Great Pyramid, erected by the Ancient Ones as a barricade at the portal between two dimensions, two separate realities. This is the story of one family drawn through a mysterious vortex into the other world, and of their perilous trek homeward.
Enter Xenon. Oh.
Are you here? Well, now, this is an unexpected surprise.
It's a push-button world, and Village Bath puts it right at your fingertips with toothpaste on tap, the latest touch in good taste. If you've had enough of squeezing and shoving, it's time you got a little push. With toothpaste on tap, you get neat servings of refreshing fluoride toothpaste and color-coordinating dispensers. So when push comes to shove, get toothpaste on tap. You just put your finger on it.
As we left the Earth, the weather was stormy with heavy overcast. But the report from the New Jerusalem is, as it always will be, a beautiful day without a cloud.
Whoever said that evil just stalks the Earth? It's always midnight in space. Mind Warp, an infinity of terror. In the vast reaches of the void, space explorers on a desperate mission find themselves marooned on a planet of horrors, where all their innermost fears have become reality, and no one can hide from their own nightmares. Crash into fear with Mind Warp, an infinity of terror. Starring Edward Albert and Aaron Moran.
Okay, Atari, let's see your best pitch.
knows.
I quit soccer to play Atari.
You need more practice, Haley.
You can't keep me in here, Atari.
The Atari video computer system is 20 cartridges with 1,300 game variations you play on your own TV set. Don't just watch television tonight. Play it.
That was Galliano a little bit earlier in the festival, complete with Pet Dragon weaving its way through the crowd. Now, the Glastonbury hairdo has to be long, matted dreadlocks. But Mark here is sporting a different option. We're talking the molded plastic hair.
The practical option.
It is the practical option. Now, Mark, I understood that you weren't coming to the festival this year. What gives?
See, last year I said, why would you go to a festival if you could stay at home and watch a cinema? Well, the point is, this year, Portishead, they made a film, they sent the film to the festival, then they came to the festival to watch the film they made play in a field. And the field came to the festival came, and then the band went to the thing with the... I think the band came...
Oh, baby, baby. Yeah. Good morning, you're tuned to another Flask of Weird edition of Wake Up Southside. I'm Jerry Majeski, and I'm staring at the visage of Chuck Isle. People have asked me to describe Chuck, and I'd say he's a person most likely, between the two of us, the person most likely to get a tattoo within the next 5 years.
Boy, I just don't know how to respond to something like that.
And I know what it might say, or I have a few guesses. Void where prohibited.
Void where prohibited. That's always been a little phrase that I've been very piqued by, or piqued, as far as interest goes. I mean, why do they say void where prohibited? You'd think they'd want you to void where it's not prohibited. I mean, Billy Carter, he even got into trouble for that once. Didn't he?
Got into trouble for having a tattoo?
No.
That said void where prohibited? Why?
No, but I think he voided where he wasn't supposed to, on the side of a building.
And the night air is hideous with John's this evening. John Curl has kindly relinquished a few minutes of his part of the programme in order that we could complete something that we started. We didn't start at all, actually. It was something we wanted to do anyway. And John Lennon is going to read something that he wrote. Did you write it?
Yes, this is a piece of paper called Charles.
How many times have you offered your help to a friend or your father or mother? This next story tells how you help yourself when you give of your time for another.
And how?
My name is Winnie Fong. I am 11 years old, and my friend's name is Christina Lee. And Christina is 12. We work together in this school. We're in the 6th grade in another school, but we come over to this one during first period to help younger kids in kindergarten.
Winnie and Christina, today we're going to have the kids work on finger painting, okay? So what I'd like you two to do is help the children put on their smocks. And when you're doing that, be sure and have them roll up their sleeves. And
young kids need help. There's a lot of stuff they wouldn't think of doing. So we kind of get them started. Anyway, it really helps the teacher. She can't be everywhere. We kind of split up the work this way. We found out about this program from our teacher. It's a special program in our school district. Kids teaching kids. It helps the teacher. It helps the kids. In a lot of ways, it helps us. There are other kids that are doing this special program too. The program is called TIES. It stands for Trainees in Educational Service. We're the trainees. I know the kids really enjoy us. We sometimes get closer to them than the teacher can. 'Cause, you know, we're more their age.
Okay, and spread it all around. That's it, smear.
We talk to them about what they're doing and maybe help them do it better. Nobody likes to be bossed around.
Make a design of all your fingers.
So we kind of make suggestions. We help them pay attention. It's really important to pay attention. That's how you learn stuff. Finger painting, cutting up paper, gluing things together. These kids are supposed to learn something from what they're doing. We try to make them understand what's expected of them. So we might tell them to start over again on a painting, or maybe we tell them that what they've done is great.
Very good, Johnny.
And we want to save it and put it on the wall. That way, they learn to be proud of what they've done. We learn in our training program that the best way to teach somebody something is to be nice to them. You don't have to be really strict or hard on them. They'll come along okay if you just help them. You have to be patient. Well, we don't just do this to help the kids. We help ourselves a lot, too. Like, I'm really learning a lot myself. My friend Christina is really a neat person.
Write down your name. Erase this and write down your name.
She was born in China. I was born in the United States. So sometimes she tells me about China. She still speaks Chinese, her native language. Anyway, that's something that I learned from listening. We did this program for about 5 months, and we both found out it helped our own studies. Telling the kids to pay attention kind of rubbed off on us. I know what happens when I don't pay attention and miss out on something. So I'm making a special effort to listen, and I learn more. Other kids are in this program too. We get together sometimes to have rap sessions. We talk about what we're doing and what we're learning. Everybody seems to agree that it's really helped them a lot. I guess helping others is a really good way of helping yourself. That's something Christine and I learned in this program.
Now, if you've been looking for something to eat that's great as an after-school snack, we're about to show you how to make granola, so don't go away, we'll be back.
Way to Go special returns following these messages.
Ear, weird 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 ear, queer.
Let's do it! North! South! Everybody underground now! Nothing we can do. Woo! Woo! 121 miles an hour. Everybody underground now! The twister's shifting north. Nothing we could do.
We're sitting under the pine trees overlooking the beach in Nassau. This is Derek Taylor, and I'm with Betty Glassow, who, for the purposes of the film and for Hard Day's Night, is the Beatles' hairdresser. Betty probably knows more about the beetle's hair than they do themselves. Is there a special technique in looking after a beetle head, Betty?
Well, not really any more than usual. Just have to sort of keep a check that it's, the right length at the same time.
I suppose they don't really get their hair cut as ordinary hair is cut, because this is no ordinary hair. This is simply a case of keeping it tidy, getting rid of loose ends.
Yes, it is.
It's possibly invidious to compare their hair, but who has the softest hair of the four of them?
Ringo. She has the softest, and John.
Yep. Paul's always looked softer.
Well, no, he's got much better hair than the others. A bit coarser.
He has coarser hair, has he? What colour is John's? An awful lot of people say that John's has an auburn tinge. Is it auburn?
Well, he has a slight auburn tinge, yes. Mm-hmm. He's had it darkened a bit for this film.
Do they trust you with their hair completely, or have they little fads and fancies which they try and impose?
Oh, I think they do by now, yes.
Did they at first? Did they at first?
Oh, yes. They're a bit wary of how much I would cut off,
And how wary were you when you first got the job of looking after the Beatles' hair?
I'm a bit nervous.
You get on well with them? Do you find them as easy as everybody else does to get on with?
Yes, I do.
The Beatles' hair, of course, is an extremely valuable commodity. The temptation to sell it must have been very strong, but I know from what I've heard that you and all the other people on the set resist these things. But do you, in fact, keep the hair yourself, or do you give it away?
I keep a little, and I give it to my relations and friends. They ask for their children,
Have you had many letters from abroad and from England asking for Beatle hair?
Yes, I did in the last film. I had America and...
Were you able to let people have some?
Yes, I sent, different little packets to them.
Just as a matter of interest, did any of the people who got it ever write back to say thanks?
No, I haven't.
That's worth thinking about, by the way. An awful lot of people write for Beatle things and very rarely write to say thank you. But if there are thank you letters, then most of them come from America, where children, of course, are great letter writers. Well, look, Betty, you've got an awful lot to do with this hair, so I'll let you go and say thanks very much, and we'll see you again.
Thank you very much, too.
Bye-bye.
In Libbyland, kids get to look out for Libbyland dinners.
It's Libby the Kid.
That's Billy the Kid spelled sideways, sort of.
I'll spell him sideways.
Will Libby the Kid deliver the Libbyland dinners? Will the kids ever taste the safari supper with 2 chicken patties? Or the sundown supper's double beef patty? And the Nestle's Quick that's in all Libbyland dinners? They will! Libbyland dinners are more fun than ever. Try all 5.
Go ahead, see if I care.
What is it, Crunchberry Beast? Oh, confounded Lafoot. Come back here with those Crunchberries.
Never! Cap'n Crunch with Crunchberries is sweet and tasty with the added of strawberry flavor Crunchberries. So just look what I get with every bowlful. 2 kinds of flavor, 2 kinds of crunch, and 1 Crunchberry Beast.
Cap'n Crunch with Crunchberries from Quaker.
Eureka! At last I, Jean Lefoot, the barefoot pirate, have my very own breakfast cereal.
Little fool, Lafoot. You haven't had a winner yet.
Oh, no? Try this, Cap'n Crunch.
Very well. Hey, this is delicious.
It is? I mean, of course it is.
It's good.
What's the flavor?
Cinnamon toast.
It's the flavor of cinnamon toast.
So it is. And what do you call this delicious Cinnamon Crunch cereal?
What else? Cinnamon Crunch.
Figures. Well, Lafoot, this ought to make you quite a hero with the kids.
Yeah! A hero? Me? What will my pirate crew say?
Lafoot is a fink.
I thought that's what they'd say.
New Cinnamon Crunch at your grocer's now.
Tisk, tisk. How can such a bad guy come up with such a good cereal?
Just unlucky, I guess.
The Saturday Superstar movie will continue following station identification.
Yogi's Gang comes to Saturday morning starting in September on ABC.
How do you make a zany shirt? Take an old shirt, take a boring shirt, but how do you make a zany shirt?
With a Shirt Zanies kit from Arts and Crafts Today. It has just about everything you need to express your own personality on a shirt. Except the shirt. And you don't have to stop at 1 or 2 shirts. You can spread the zaniness around.
That's how you make a zany shirt.
arts and crafts today.
Like it is today at 2.
Valerie Landsberg stars in Thank God It's Friday, tonight at 11:30 on Great Movies. Right now, stay tuned for The Eyes of Toronto. City Pulse tonight with Martineau and Murskowski is next.
African lion safari, real to the animal shows.
Off Highway number 8 between Cambridge and Hamilton. From Don Mills in Overley, this is City TV, everywhere. Tonight, the new hooker law is working.
Tonight, Calgary Stampede crash.
Tonight, the Jays against the A's. Show me the pictures.
Where do you begin the evacuation?
More warm weather in the forecast.
10-4-20, what's your ETA?
Brandley just arrived. Good evening. Our top story tonight, Metro Police cracking down on street prostitution. Last summer, Toronto streets were crowded with hookers because legislation police used to charge them was struck down by a court ruling. Parliament has now given police a new law which they say is doing the trick. We have more tonight from our crime specialist Mark Daly with the City Pulse Live Eye. Mark?
Thanks, Ann. In fact, last year it was open season out here for prostitutes and their clients, and the regular track areas downtown and here in the Near East End became so congested that the prostitutes spread out to new turf in the West End. The new Section 195 of the Criminal Code that recently was enacted has given police the legal weapon they were begging for. Police feel the new law governing prostitutes communicating for the purpose of engaging sex has cut the number of working girls more than in half.
On a warm night like tonight, we could drive around and count between 300 and 400 girls on the street, and now we drive around, we probably count maybe 100, 150 at the most.
There you go. The Morality Squad has more manpower and money now, focusing on getting the rest of the juvenile hookers back home. But it means meeting more of the ladies in general and charging more of them too.
We drive around and we'll pull up in the car or walk up near to where the girls are standing that we suspect are applying their trade as prostitutes, and they will come over and, of course, communicate for the purpose of engaging in prostitution, and we'll charge them that way.
Female officers posing as prosties do the same job on the Johns. Police say they'd like to shrink the expanded areas, like the Lakeshore Motel Strip in Queen West. All they need is time and money, and hope the new law holds up in court. But Sergeant Breyer says so far they have given the streets back to the law-abiding people.
10 or 11 is the prime time at night for them. But we'd come down at this time of night and there'd be 15 girls over there around that corner of Pembroke, between there and about halfway down the block. And it was always 4 or 5 in this corner. As you can see, they're not there anymore.
I should add that His Honor Judge Bernhardt in the Provincial Court has made a decision which challenges the validity of this law, but it's before the Court of Appeal, and we expect a decision on that in a couple of weeks, Ann.
Mark, we hear an awful lot about how the law affects female hookers, but is this law as effective against male hustlers?
It is. They can use it the same way, but police have always seen they stay away from the Track 2 area, mainly because it's not a residential area. They don't cause a lot of problems for the neighborhood, and the police say they just don't get the complaints there. They keep an eye on it because there are more robberies and rough stuff in that neighborhood, but the law can be used there. You just haven't really used it a lot yet.
Okay, Mark, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Yorkville merchants meeting tonight, planning ways to convince City Hall to limit street vendors in the Yorkville area.
Has made application to City Hall. I'm sure it has worked against them. Have good quality merchandise, do not have shabby display stands and things like that.
In Montreal. And finally, this week we'd like to introduce you to IUMA. IUMA is an acronym for the Internet Underground Musical Archive, a cyberspace path for a new and alternative distribution system for new and alternative music. In the past year, IUMA has put online over 350 unsigned acts who, through internet access, reached a global audience with downloadable songs. IUMA says it has high-quality audio and requires no user fees or long-distance calls. We checked it out for ourselves, and here's what we found.
The internet is sort of the world's coffee house with 30 million people connected electronically. IUMA stands for the Internet Underground Music Archive, which means we're the net's first music archive that takes bands, mostly unsigned bands, as well as labels of varying sizes, and puts them on the internet.
Not your typical Santa Cruz surf punks, Rob Lord and Jeff Patterson, computer whiz kids at the University of Santa Cruz, got the idea for IUMA when Jeff put a track from his band's record on the internet, and to his amazement, got responses to his music from as far away as Turkey.
We realized that since it was pretty successful putting my band out there, that other bands would probably want on. So we started doing it for our friends' bands around Santa Cruz, and pretty soon we had 200 bands, and we decided it was time to become a business because the demand was there.
They saw us playing at a party one time and they said, "You guys want to go up on the net?" And we said, "Actually, we did just have a song recorded, Trout," so we put it up. And I'd say probably about a week later, we got some pretty cool responses from all over. People from Russia and Italy, Kentucky. People from Kentucky, Michigan, basically,
Wyoming.
Yeah, all over the world.
It's a full graphical interface. You get pictures of the bands, you get play buttons. All you have to do is click on the play button and the music will be downloaded to your system. To get their information, it's all right there on the screen in front of you.
We're a New York City band. We haven't toured Europe, you know. I mean, it's one thing to play Paddy Riley's every Sunday, but then to have people in Norway, I mean, the first time I heard it, I was thinking, you know, there's some guy snowed in his cabin, playing with the computer, listening to our music, when he can't even get out of the house to go down to the record shop and buy it, even if he could.
If all this sounds too good to be true, you should know that there are a few hitches. Downloading just one song can take up to 30 minutes and can use up valuable space on your hard drive. But with computer memory and speeds ever on the increase, it may not be long before you can sit at home and check out a new band from a town you've never heard of, and maybe even buy their single.
At some point in the future, the whole paradigm of record distribution, maybe you won't have to go to the record store to buy it. You'll download it from the computer. Why would you want to go out to the store when it can be brought directly into your home? We see it evolving. We see ourselves at the forefront of it, and I think we're going to see some IUMA bands becoming signed and becoming very popular and showing up on MTV before too long.
IUMA browsers can also buy demo tapes and CDs through the service. To find out more about IUMA, you can email them at iuma.com. And one last cyber note, Aerosmith will be online Sunday night from 7 to 8 p.m. on CompuServe, just before playing the Palace of Auburn Hills near Detroit.
The computer, an extension of the human intellect. The NCOM 511, center of the most calculating intelligence on Earth, programmed by Master Control to survive by all means. Soon, the ultimate tool will become the ultimate enemy.
I still do not understand why you want to break into the system.
Because, man, somewhere in one of these memories is the evidence. Hey, it's the big Master Control program everybody's been talking about.
Kevin Flynn, computer genius. Taken prisoner and held captive within the digital world of the computer itself. Trapped inside an electronic arena where love and escape do not compute.
It's the Home Shopping Spree.
You know, this is the last hour already?
Yes.
How time flies.
Are we having fun?
No. But anyways...
It's a party.
I love saying it to you. I don't know why.
Every time I ask him, are we having fun? He says no.
Well...
I'm going to go home.
All right, see you later. We're going to continue with the show. Cindy's going home. We have the answering machine coming up. This is the Kenwood answering system that is loaded with features, including some that for the price you would never find on a phone. The secret call is one in particular. That is so neat. Because nobody wants to be bothered by a phone call that happens to be one of those solicitors or something like that. We have an idea for you. This phone is equipped with circuitry that allows you to know who's on the other end of the line before you pick it up.
It's like
and we're going to tell you how.
Computer,
it's very
isn't it?
nice.
Very
nice. It's an answering system rather than a machine.
Yes.
We'll have that coming up, so be on the lookout. Are we ready to see what we have next?
Let's take a look.
For the person who has absolutely everything, or a great gift to give to the boss or the secretary, I'd like you to take a look right now at something rather interesting. This is the Travel Companion. This is a world clock, has a world clock on it. It's an FM radio. It is a full functioning calculator, all in one handheld unit. This is perfect to take with you if you want to go camping or fishing, you're out of town for a little while on a business trip. Something to use, obviously, on your nightstand if you're in a hotel or a motel. We will offer this at only $19.95, but it's going to be very quick. 3-minute special at $19.95. It's a traveling companion. The world time clock gives you the date, as you can see, has a built-in speaker so you can hear the radio, telescopic antenna. The window flips up. It's an LCD window with 8 digits that shows the calculator, gives you the date, the day and the month, and a world time display if you want. Plus, it has a built-in snooze alarm. This is like a clock radio, if you will, with a built-in snooze alarm. You can wake to the radio or wake to the alarm. So you have this portable alarm clock to take with you wherever you go. And since it will beep, you can, if you have a meeting to be at or something to be reminded, maybe medication you need to take or a phone call you need to make, you can set this one to beep at any time during the day.
Where
really
can
neat.
you get a clock plus a world time clock where you also have an electronic calculator, my friends? It adds, it subtracts, it divides, it eliminates the need to carry a separate calculator. Look at all the features. And you're right, this would be a great gift. What a nice gift to give to your secretary, to your boss, to your sons, to someone who's going off to college, to myself when I do all my traveling around the country. A terrific value. Give us a call on it right now.
Meet Chris Parker, getting ready for the greatest night of her life.
Hi.
I gotta cancel. Now she's stuck babysitting the Anderson kids. Sarah,
Mom got Chris to babysit for me.
Chris, her brother Brad,
Oh my.
his best friend Daryl.
Who is this kid? Stray dog.
Take good care of my baby. I'll guard her with my life.
What could possibly go wrong?
Chris, I'm in trouble. Hang up and sit down. I'll be there in half an hour.
This is the night when things go from bad
My mom's car!
to worse.
Big city. Scum sucker.
Too ridiculous.
Wanna go to bed?
Hey, I like danger.
You should try babysitting.
And this is only the beginning.
Your friend is dead.
Chris can handle it.
Sarah's probably hanging from the rafters by now. Sarah, hold on! I'm still in control here.
You could say they were having a bad night.
Any problems? No, not really.
If they weren't having such a good time. Adventures in babysitting.
Think your parents will ever ask me to babysit again?
If they do, I'd ask them for $1 more an hour.
Open your mind to Dungeons & Dragons computer game from Mattel Electronics.
It will lead your imagination down a dungeon labyrinth wherein lies the dragon's treasure. Steal his treasure, but make no false moves. For in Dungeons and Dragons, a dead end is a dead end. Dungeons and Dragons from Mattel Electronics.
Coming your way, Girl in Gold Boots.
The girl in gold boots moves like the flames in a bar. And when the music starts her...
I'm on my way to Hollywood right now. Now, why don't you come with me and I'll bet you my sister can make you into a star, just like that. And I'll do all that for you in exchange for a little companionship.
Girl in Gold Boots, the exciting story of vibrant, unpredictable youth, searching for the answers that torment their generation. For Buzz, the answer was a gun.
One good time, one place is for you.
It's all here, the happy fun times and the crazy, turned-on, dangerous times.
The fuzz may be dumb where you come from, friend. But out here they're more with it. Give me. Give you what? You lay that gun on me, sweetheart. I'm not going to count, Sonny.
For Michelle, success meant Hollywood, wild parties, drug-crazed nights, and the dangers that come from men who live in the shadows.
You know, you may think the success with Leo and all the kooks in this place means you got the world by the tail. Well, that ain't the case, baby.
I thought we were only supposed to hit this spot once a week.
And that's all we're going to hit it, you understand?
Look, somebody better be here tomorrow with that order, or you guys better not deliver around this block anymore.
Sounds of former meetings make lies of what is said now.
Leo says I'm really going places. Just because he deals in dope, that doesn't tarnish me.
Oh, that's what you think, baby.
Kissing her lips is just like sweet wine.
For Critter, the answer could only be Michelle, and she meant big trouble. Thrill to adventure, action, love, danger, and suspense, as three young people try to find their way in the world. Starring these bright new stars, Jody Daniel as Critter, Leslie McRae as Michelle, Tom Pace as Buzz. A dozen new swinging song hits. Make a date now to meet that girl in gold boots.
Got complete trust in your wisdom.